Hi, folks. Welcome back to On Call with Insignia, where we go on call with leaders innovating the future of Southeast Asia and emerging markets across the world, as we like to call it, ASEAN Innovation. I'm your host, Paulo Aquino. And today, in this episode, we have with us a returning guest, actually. For those of our longtime listeners who have caught our A Leader a Minute episodes back in 2020, you must have seen our episode with Sourabh Gupta, VP of Product Development at Flip. And he's back here on the show with us today to talk about product market fit. I think it's a topic that has not grown old over the years. It's a word that is very familiar to the startup ecosystem, but I think all the more important today, especially in this market, as companies are trying to improve monetization, trying to build better products that aren't subsidized by funding and all of that. So it's going to be a really interesting discussion and hopefully helpful and useful discussion for all the listeners out there, whether you're entrepreneur, founder, or product manager looking for different ways to really build customer-centric products and drive product-led growth. So yeah, so Rob, thanks again for coming back on the show. How has it been?
Thanks, Paulo. Thanks for having me. It's been good, I think, since the last time we spoke, things have definitely changed, right? How the market dynamics are right now, and something you would be
Sure.
very well aware. So the kind of conversations also we had back then and back now, I think that there's a change in the general theme. But overall, I think things are good. I mean, things at Flip are good. We're scaling very well. We are diversifying our product portfolio a lot. So
Mhm.
overall, things are good.
Yeah, I wanted to start with this concept of the year of monetization, which I quote from Geeta, who is actually Flip COO and who we had on the show earlier this year. She was saying that, at least for the Indonesian ecosystem, this 2023 is the year of monetization for startups. And as you said, the theme has changed since we last talked. How has that theme, year of monetization played out for Flip with regards to its value proposition to different types of customers, from consumers, B2C, even to enterprise over the past year?
Thanks for the question. I mean, I did talk about it, and I think I try to give a broader view first because I think that's important to understand
Right.
for
Right.
for listening in as well, and then deep dive into a specific product that we have. So I think what happened, and again, little earlier than 2023, is when we started to realize that we don't want to be just known as a transfer app or a transfer product, right? And there were a few factors to that. One, again, a vision. If you look at Flip's vision, it is to be the fairest financial services company, right? And transfers, etc., was a means to get to that final vision. So that vision was always there in our mind, and we were clear that it's time for us to act on that in a more direct way. And the other thing was what we also realized, and if you see the market, not only in Southeast Asia, you'll see that transfers, payments are very commoditized in nature, especially on consumers' side. Very hard to monetize very deeply to build a kind of a sustainable business. And that's what we also were cognizant of, right? Like you can't just be focusing on that. And globally, there are many examples of companies. They started off with this, but diversified their product portfolios into building products which give you more revenue. So those were the thoughts as well in our mind. And along with that, there was a kind of a internalization that, everyone knows Flip as a Flip app for consumers, but we had a B2B vertical or a business vertical as well, where we offered transfers and payment acceptance service as well. So this year, if you ask me, there were two key strategic decisions that we took, right? Number one, diversify a product portfolio, and that's where we are venturing into financial services. Still very early, but yeah, that's definitely a bet that we want to take. And secondly, double down on our business vertical. Other thing I think what changed for us this year was similar to what a lot of other companies would have done, right? In terms of cost cutting. I know everyone did it. We also did it. But one of the things which I want to highlight, what I think we did differently at Flip was it wasn't purely a top-down activity. I mean, of course, there were some top-down initiatives. Okay, we need to do X, Y, Z. But I think what we did very well was we got the whole team together. We got the whole company together to understand that why this is a key priority for it and what do we need to do, which I think is very important because if you're top down, you can only do so much, right? There could be only be so many ideas that you will have, which are, let's say, low hanging fruits, which are very obvious.
Mhm.
But when you get the entire team on board, then this team is taking decisions on a day-to-day basis, taking product decisions day-to-day basis, and they have very good idea of what they can do in terms of cost saving. And I'll share a couple of examples, right? This one is very recent where I think 3 weeks back, one of our PMs who manages the integrations team came to us and said that, hey guys, I was just analyzing a particular scenario. And I think if we change this routing, we will end up saving like 50 million per month, which is not a lot, but it's still a decent amount. But what I like is how this was very bottom up. Similarly, some engineer will come one day and say, okay, I think I can optimize this query or change a particular scenario, and it will save like few $100s. The amount may be less, but what we really liked was that how the entire company was rallying to it. It wasn't like a management goal. It was a company's goal to cut down on costs and so on and so forth. And I think full credits to Ari for this, because he was able to rally the team for this. And it was a collective cause for it, where everyone was thinking, okay, revenue. How do we get revenue, right? We talked about growth enough. How do we look at revenue? And as part of revenues, also you need to look down at the cost that you have. So all in all, just painting this broad picture, right? But one point I think I want to deep down as part of this whole narrative is, I think, what everyone knows us for, which is domestic transfers or interbank transfers. That has been the hero product. And the reason I talked about all of this was to talk about how we think at a high level, but now let's go deep. So the thing is, that was the first product market for Flip, Flip, right? Everyone knows us for interbank transfers, right? That's how people started coming in. But the key thing is, along with being synonymous for interbank transfers, there was an additional point. It was free interbank transfer. That's how we pitched as well. Back in the day, I used to talk about free interbank transfers, and that's where everyone came in.
The
Right?
6.5,
Uh,
rupiah.
yeah, that was a carrot, right? That, hey, it's free interbank transfers. But I think what everyone has to realize is it might be free for some, but it's not free in the end, right? There is no free lunch. There's no free lunch, so to say. So we were incurring a cost. So the key question for us came, okay, domestic transfers, which is a key volume. We have millions of transactions happening every month. How do we make it profitable? Because you can do whatever else we want, but if we keep on burning money here, it's not going to, make us a sustainable company over a long run. So this is the key problem I think this year we tackled, and the idea was simple, right? To be positive, increase your revenue, cut down on your costs. Now, cutting costs was easier. I think that was more internal to us. And that's where I think we did multiple newer integrations, be it BI fast, host to host integrations with newer banks, renegotiated our costs with a lot of our partners, which brought down our blended cost per transaction. But the revenue part was still harder nut to crack, because this was a change in the brand positioning altogether. And that's where our marketing team also played a key role, where we changed how we position our products. So it was no longer free interbank transfers, right? But it was about interbank transfers and financial services overall. Our idea was simple. Right? Our idea was that, that if we are able to provide superior experience to our users, and we have a lot of loyalists, by the way, right? Our repeat users month on month are a very, very high number. So our idea was clear. If we are able to lock in these pool of users who unlock enough value from our platform, then they should be, willing to pay for that. And for that, we did a lot of experimentations, because there was no formula for it, right? How many transfers, with the fee for it. So multiple A/B tests to calibrate, okay, what is that value at which your churn is not too much, but your growth is still there. Your margins are justifying whatever churn that is there. So multiple experimentation, long-term experimentation to see retention. Like we ran experiments for three months to see if it is impacting retention month on month or not. And that helped us take this decision. So these were not like just top-down decisions. Top-down objective was given, but the product team was completely, on their own to figure out how they will execute this. On similar lines, we also built subscription products to see, how we can unlock more value from users who were loyalists. We invested a lot in cross-selling as well, because we have other products as well, right? We have digital products, other things, which are things which everyone needs, right? Like it's like paying your electricity bill, paying your phone bill, etc., right? So we have those products, but what we realized was, out of, let's say, 100 users coming to do transfers, only a fraction of them were doing this other transaction, which were all revenue making, by the way. Like we make money in each transaction. So the whole idea was, if they are coming to Flip to solve one of their problems, why not solve the other problem as well? Which definitely they have, because so far they might be going to a different platform for the same. So we build products for that as well, to improve discovery, to improve cross-sell, build missions and whatnot. I think I'll take a pause here, because I think on this topic I can go on and on. There were multiple things that we did, and most of them have actually given us good positive results. Our average revenue per user has also increase. So yeah, pause there.
Thank you for joining us on this call. Make sure you get notified on when to dial in by following us wherever you're listening to us. If you're on YouTube, hit that subscribe button, toss in a like, and let us know if you'd like to hear more of this topic in the comments. See you all in our next call.